Africa, a continent bursting with diversity, culture, and potential. Yet the question persists, why is Africa so poor? The African story isn't just about poverty, it's about resilience, innovation, and a future brimming with possibility. Now, let's be clear, Africa isn't a monolith. To paint the entire continent with a single brushstroke of poverty is not only inaccurate, but also a disservice. You can't talk about poverty in Africa without addressing the elephant in the room: colonialism. Imagine someone waltzing into your house, taking your stuff, redrawing your floor plan, and then leaving you with the mess. That's colonialism in a nutshell. For centuries, European powers carved up Africa like a birthday cake, exploiting its resources and people for their own gain. They stripped the continent of its wealth, leaving behind fractured societies and economies dependent on their former rulers. This legacy of exploitation didn't magically disappear with independence. Many African nations were left with weak institutions, artificial borders that ignored existing ethnic groups, and economies designed to serve colonial interests. It's like trying to run a marathon with your shoelaces tied together. Now, I'm not saying colonialism is the sole reason for poverty in Africa, but it's like a pre-existing condition that makes it harder to fight off other diseases. It's the foundation upon which many of the continent's current challenges are built. Understanding this history is crucial to understanding the present. It's not about dwelling on the past, it's about acknowledging the long shadow it casts and using that knowledge to build a brighter future. Africa is a continent teeming with natural wealth: diamonds, gold, oil, you name it. It's like the Beyoncé of continents, blessed with an abundance of natural assets. But here's the catch. Sometimes, having too much of a good thing can be a curse. Many African economies are heavily reliant on exporting raw materials. Think oil from Nigeria, diamonds from Botswana, or cocoa from Ghana. While these resources can generate revenue, they also make economies vulnerable to price fluctuations in the global market. It's like putting all your eggs in one basket and then hoping the basket doesn't fall. If the price of your main export drops, your entire economy takes a hit. This dependence on raw materials also hinders the development of diverse industries and job creation. To break free from this resource curse, African nations need to diversify their economies, invest in value-added processing, and move up the value chain. It's about turning those raw diamonds into sparkling jewels and that cocoa into delectable chocolate right there on the continent. Section 4, Beyond Economics, Health, Education, and Opportunity. Now let's move beyond dollars and cents. Poverty isn't just about empty pockets. It's about empty stomachs, limited opportunities, and a lack of access to basic services like healthcare and education. Imagine a young girl who dreams of becoming a doctor, but can't attend school because her family can't afford it. Or a talented entrepreneur whose business idea withers away due to a lack of access to electricity. These are the realities faced by millions across the continent. Investing in education, healthcare, and infrastructure is not just a moral imperative, it's an economic necessity. When people are healthy, educated, and have access to opportunities, they can contribute to the workforce, innovate, and drive economic growth. It's about empowering individuals to reach their full potential and creating a virtuous cycle of development that benefits everyone. Section 5, the corruption conversation. Let's talk about the elephant in the room: corruption. It's a problem that plagues many countries, not just in Africa. However, its impact on the continent has been particularly devastating. Corruption is like a termite infestation. It eats away at the very foundation of a society, eroding trust in institutions, deterring investment, and siphoning off resources intended for development. It's not just about greedy politicians lining their pockets. It's about a system that often prioritizes personal gain over the public good. This culture of impunity disproportionately affects the poor and marginalized, who are often denied basic services and opportunities. Addressing corruption requires a multi-pronged approach, strengthening institutions, promoting transparency and accountability, and empowering citizens to hold their leaders accountable. It's about creating a culture of integrity where everyone plays by the rules. Section 6, a continent on the rise. Africa is a continent on the move, with a surge of innovation, entrepreneurship, and economic growth. Rwanda has risen from genocide to become a beacon of progress. Senegal's tech hub and renewable energy focus are impressive. From Lagos to Nairobi, Africa is brimming with potential. Driven by resilience and ingenuity, Africa's future is bright, a story worth telling.